what should you have inspected? Generally speaking, I would say everything. You want to make sure you're talking to an inspector or you're hiring an inspector that's going to go crawl around in the crawl space, do the dirty work, put the suit on, go down there, check it out, go up in the attic crawl space, walk around on the roof, look at everything you can look at without tearing into walls. So we want to make sure they're seeing everything as far as the systems, the electrical. In older houses, sometimes we have things like lumberjack landlord where he is, and in Seattle where I spent many years of my career, you're looking at things like, is it knob and tube wiring? Has it been swapped out for Romex, some more modern wiring? Is it galvanized plumbing, or has it been swapped out for copper or PEX? How old is that furnace? What type of furnace is it? Is there an underground oil tank? And, what type of siding is that? Is it asbestos siding? Is it a recalled LP? There's all these things. And for myself as an agent, I'm not an inspector, but I've attended so many hundreds of inspections and seen so many houses myself that I can pretty much look and point a lot of those things out. But even I will say, I'm not an inspector. You need to have an inspector come evaluate those things. Mm-hmm. And if they find hazardous materials, then there's a process usually where you can bring in an expert to evaluate mm-hmm. further. Yep. And there are also regional variables. Like, for example, we don't really have much in the way of termites, but I imagine maybe, do you in Fresno have termites?
Oh, yeah. So I've done, I don't know, a lot of inspections, and we have subterranean termites everywhere.
Yeah.
So when I see subterranean termites, again, this is my opinion and my opinion only, it doesn't bother me. But if the termites are in the building, that's a problem. So I've tented and replaced and done all of that. But when I see subterranean termites, it's like they're everywhere. They're certainly everywhere in Fresno, given it's a farming and area. So
yeah, and when we for a little while we owned some properties in New Orleans, and there's Formosan termites are everywhere there, and you have to be under contract for regular sprays and all this stuff. So be aware of those things. In some places they have, if it's a pool, there's a pool there, then you'd have probably a pool inspector come and do that. We don't really have that much in the Northwest. Septic, that's a big deal where I am. Septic,
I've had to replace those before. Yep.
Oh yeah. And where we are, it's highly regulated, and it can be $50,000 for a failed septic, and 6 months, it's a nightmare. So you want to make sure that's actually an ordinance where we are, that the seller must inspect that and provide a report. So that's a good thing for the buyer. Well, is it on a well? We get that sometimes. We're kind of a mix of both where I am, and you need to know, it's not just a given on a well that you turn on the water and it's always going to come out and it's all going to be fine. You want to know water quality and other things like that. So, and in some areas there's radon too. We don't have that here, but at least I've never seen it here, but